Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right? Yep, it is. Tuesday, January 6th. Good morning, everybody. Hope you are having a fantastic day. It is about 10 a.m. here in Arizona. I ain't got my purple light on. Let me get my purple light on, get a little color behind me. And let's do some rocking and rolling today. Let's talk about some crypto. For those of you that don't listen to the Monday Crypto Mindset Mastery videos that I do on Monday, man, I think you are missing out. I think that most of you probably watch those videos, but I'm here to tell you, if you're a crypto guy and you kind of shy away from those Monday Mindset Masteries, I highly suggest that you go back and watch the last couple, because they've been focused a lot on financially being successful in 2026. See, I'm a huge believer that money is very, very important in life. Money is not the most important thing in life, but it ranks right up there with oxygen. Guys, we need money. There's no doubt about it that a broke person living paycheck to paycheck, that's worried about every bill that's coming in through the door, is not an effective Christian. They're not going to be able to serve the kingdom of God the way that they properly should. It's going to affect a lot of areas of your life. So for anybody that says they don't care about money, I heard somebody say this earlier. If you say you don't care about money, what else will you lie about? Because so many people, and you can kind of, check this out all on your own, do the Howie test, whatever you want to call it. The next time you hear somebody say they don't care about money, without being too obvious about it, ask them how many hours a week they're going to a job. And I tell you, man, I've got a family member that used to work. He still does work, but he used to work in a civilian military capacity, and he would volunteer. He would get deployed to other countries to work, and he would work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, sometimes longer, for 3 to 6 months at a time. And then my wonderful sister, my sister, and this is my brother-in-law, my sister would say that I was the one that was always obsessing about money, and that I worried too much about money and I cared too much about money. And I thought it was always kind of a interesting scenario. Here I am. I mean, I love my brother-in-law. He's provided an incredible life for my sister and their kids. Great, incredible man. Love him to death. But the fact that they thought I was the one obsessing about money always drove me crazy a little bit, when he was willing to work, 12 hours a day plus 7 days a week, and then give me a hard time. So, guys, money is important in our society, at least for right now. You got to have money in order to survive. And so Mondays, although we'll get off topic, and on Mondays we'll talk about other things other than success and money, because it's not the only thing. But guys, Monday is really a great day to think about some of the things that you want to do in 2026 to get your finances in the spot that you wanted to be. Good morning, Mr. Eric Bernstein. Hope you are doing fantastic today. We got Mr. Vanish Joy Joseph 1997 in the house. Good morning, Vanish. Hope you're doing fantastic. Hey, Dave. Good morning. Hope you are doing wonderful too. Thank you for being here. We got Nay and Jonah. Good morning. I hope all of you are having an amazing Tuesday. Now, what in the world are we going to do today when it comes to this crypto? Man, I was hoping to wake up to some green, but we watched Bitcoin yesterday pop up all the way up over, well, in fact, it was pretty close. It looks like at some point in time, it was almost to 95,000, might have hit 95,000. And then all of a sudden we wake up today and we're back to 92.6. And that's a pretty significant little downward line over the last few hours, and it kind of puts me in a position where I feel like we're a little bit in no man's land again. If we were still up at 95, 96 grand, I would be very hopeful that we were going to reclaim 100. And if we can reclaim 100 and hold, I don't think we're going to stay at 103, 104 for very long. I think that if we can get above 100 and hold it, that it's just a matter of a few days, maybe a couple of weeks before we're back up above 110 and potentially headed back towards another all-time high. But from here, you can kind of see that if we go and zoom out a little bit and look at the 1 month, that we're really just right here still inside this wedge. You know, a month ago, we were at 91, 393. We've gone as high as, 90, 93 here, 95 yesterday, and as low as, 80, 85, on December 18th. So this doesn't look like much of a chart. And the same thing if you do the 3-month chart, it's even, let me refresh this screen here. If you look at the 3-month, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, obviously, if we go all the way back out 3 months ago, then we're looking at way up. We were still up over 120. But if you go, say, right to about here, November 21st, 83,000. And here we are on January 6th, 93,000. So this stretch from here to here, just very, very sideways, nothing exciting happening. And it kind of puts us in no man's land a little bit for trying to figure out whether we want to long the market, short the market, stay away from the market. What is the plan? I will show you the trades that we put in last week have done very, very well. We got in on Polkadot at $1.82. I had a feeling, Polkadot at under $2 was going to be a pretty good spot. And it turns out I could have been more aggressive. My 10x, my 8x leverage never even came close to getting liquidated. In fact, last week when I placed these trades live on the stream, they literally were in the money almost the same day. And same thing with the, was it the link trade here? The link trade was it? No, the link is at 3x. The Atom. Yeah, the Atom was the other one. We got into Atom at $1.96. It's up to $2.42. Part of the trouble, though, is that we only unfortunately put around $30 in on both of those positions, and then we backed them up. We had our ladders here for about $100 each that never even came close to executing. So it's cool, fun to have these trades here, and they're up over 100%. The dot trade's up 149. The Atom trade's up 188. Unfortunately, that's not much money. But we still got a long ways to go, guys. Atom at $2.42 is still a pretty incredibly low price. Where we get into a little bit of what should we do, though, is if Atom was $1.95 not that long ago. Seriously, I type in ATO and that's not going to pull it up for me. There we go. Pull up Atom here. If Atom was, just a few days ago, like we look here, December 31st, $1.93. Now it's all the way up to $2.43. That could be a little bit concerning if we're worried that Bitcoin is going to drop back down into the 80s. If all of a sudden Bitcoin heads back, if Bitcoin heads back towards 85, 86, 87,000, most of these gains are going to get wiped out overnight. So I have a little bit of a tough time giving you guys a recommendation. Now, in the long term, I guess one of the things that I'm looking at is, okay, if you take $2.43 10% of that is 24 cents, which would take you down to what, about $2.19 for your first ladder, and then you would get another 21 cents, so that'd get you down to under $2 with two ladders. So if you're starting small like I did with a $30 trade, and then backing it up with, say a $60, $70 first ladder, and then like $125 to $150 second ladder, that would give you some room. But this might be an opportunity to jump in, once again, kind of with lower leverage. These two trades down here, the Link and the Avalanche, we did those with just 3x leverage. And they were in the red for several weeks after we put these trades in play. But with 3x leverage, they never even came close. Like Link, we got into Link at $12.97 on whatever date this was. It doesn't show the exact date, but our entry price was $12.97. If we go over here and take a look at Link, we go all the way back here to about that, January 18th, it was $12.15. If we go back here, it was $12.02. So I can't even find in the last month and a half a spot where it went below 12. And once again, our liquidation price on it was $8.80. So with 3x leverage, we didn't even, we were so not worried. We never did a ladder. We weren't concerned about it at all. And now, 17% here on our money on Link, and we're at 11.5% on AVAX. Those aren't bad numbers for a month or so. Like if you could make 12, 15, 18% a month on your money, you'd be doing pretty darn good in life. Obviously, every trade that we make isn't going to win like that, so we're not going to make 12 or 18% on every trade. But my point is if we were, especially as you start to increase the numbers, I was looking at Sammy Price. So if you go to his Discord, if you're a paid member and you look at his Discord, hey guys, come on. Sorry, man. When you got 7 cats, every once in a while, 2 or 3 of them decide to beat each other up and mess with each other a little bit. Anyways, I want to go, up, like when you start, that didn't pop up very big, did it? But when you start having more money and more confidence in what you're doing, then you can have profits like this. This is a Sammy Price trade in his Discord, and he made, he held a position for 15 days and he made a $3,800 profit. If we scroll up here a little bit further, oh, come on. There we go. So like, here's another one where, he longed at 8x leverage, and it looks like, well, this one doesn't show the exact number of how much money he made, but he made 38%. And I believe this was a relatively short trade here. So as we get more confident and feel better about putting in higher amounts of money, instead of doing these $30 trades, these $100 trades, when we really get to be confident and are ready to start throwing, $1,000 bills and $5,000 bills at some trades, you can absolutely, crush it. Now, one of the things that I will say is if we're doing $1,000 or $5,000 trades, we need to be prepared, obviously, to not do ladders. So in order to do higher volume trades, as far as money at risk, you got to get good at figuring out where to put your stop losses and what your reward versus the risk is. So I don't have it all down, but I guarantee you, if I ask Sammy on this trade here, when he made this trade, he took, so he took the trade here at $90,067. I guarantee he had a stop loss set. I don't know what that was, but he probably had a stop loss set at maybe, I don't know, 88, maybe a couple percent lower. So he probably had a stop loss at 88 or 89. I don't know for sure, but I know he had a stop loss that was, gonna, potentially maybe, so like if he's throwing 10,000 at a trade, he's probably only risking 1,000 or so of it. Like if it goes sideways, it goes bad, maybe 10. And that's probably, he might only even be risking 5%. But if he throws 10,000 at a trade, he is going to lose 500 or 1,000 if he's wrong. And when he's right, if this was a $10,000 trade, plus 38% is $3,800. So even if he is losing, say, 10% at a time, and he's losing $1,000 3 times, let's say that he lost 3 out of 4 times, he'd still have an $800 profit overall. And if he's doing a trade a day, 2 trades a day, 3 trades a day, and over the course of a week doing, multiple 6, 7, 8 trades in a week, even if he were to lose 3 out of 4 trades, if he made $800 profit overall 2 or 3 times in a week, that would be a pretty significant, little source of income. So once again, I didn't mean to do this, but I just, Sammy Price is the king. He is the best trader that I've ever seen. And I highly recommend go get in his $99 trading group. Guys, if I cannot convince you to pay for coaching, then I don't know why you're watching my channel. So I promise you, I don't have any type of an affiliate deal with Sammy. He won't even know that you signed up because I was talking about him. But if you're serious, you're on this Tuesday Trader live stream every week, and you're serious about making money trading leverage in crypto, go pay $99. Like literally, you only need, he shows you, he'll show you his trades over and over. Like when he shows a chart here like this, well, this one doesn't have the numbers, but when he shows a chart, he basically usually has the price that he's going to enter at. So he doesn't just tell you every time after the fact. He talks about, like here in this little Bitcoin update, if you go watch this, he's going to show you what he's planning for a trade. So anyways, and then he's got a course the last Saturday of every month. And I'm talking about this because it's for me. For the last 6 months, I've been telling myself every single month I was going to pay the $150 and take his half a day course on Saturday. So on Saturday, the last Saturday of every month, he does a tutorial, if you will. He teaches you how to trade, goes over all of the, I don't even know all the terminology, the Fibonacci, the resistance and the whatever all of the Bollinger Bands, blah, 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 you name the technical term for it. He teaches it on a Saturday in about 4 or 5 hours. He charges $150 for this course. He does it one Saturday a month. It's the last Saturday. And I really believe that all of us, if we're sitting here serious about trying to make money trading, should be willing to pay the $150 for that course. Like if you cannot afford to pay $150 to learn what you're doing and pay him $100 a month for all of the continuing education, and he gives you the trades like multiple times a week, he gives you the trade. He tells you what to do and when to do it. And he tells you when to enter and what your stop loss should be. And basically just gives you the exact secret sauce for what he's doing. So if you can't earn back $100 a month by following his instructions and doing the trades that he's doing, then I don't know why you would even want to trade in the first place. So go get in to Sammy Leifer's 99 And I don't think you are going to regret it. I probably use this less than 99% of the people that are in it, full transparency. Yet I always figure out a way to get involved in a couple of his trades and make more than the $99 a month I'm spending by getting in on some of his trades. So enough about Sammy Price, but incredible man, doing everything right. You know, he said something today here. I'm gonna go back to this. He said something today that hit me hard, and I believe this to be so true. I don't know if you guys can read this, but it says some of you who are struggling at trading would benefit more from a consistent workout while listening to Jim Rohn rather than trading. Trust me, it all aligns. It's how I learned how to win in trading. And one of the things that Sammy has done over the last year is he's gotten very consistent with his working out. And then he's got, I think it is here, the Lifer Big Ideas. So if you see here, this is what Crypto Lifer is doing on a regular basis. It's part of the reason I love him. We talk a lot about personal development. We were just talking about how on Monday we talk about mindset. Well, this is what he's, you know, we work on ourselves every day is what he says here. This was 11/3. Turn your life around today. Jim Rohn. Very next thing, Jordan something fitness, killer body weight workout, level 6 workout. Then, you know, the next day on 11/5, did you think success was free? YouTube video by Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn, if none of you guys have heard of Jim Rohn, if you haven't listened to Jim Rohn, the Myron Golden and the Ed Milet and the guys that I talk about, they all, if you trace it backwards, Jim Rohn was the guy that basically did it all. Jim Rohn was Tony Robbins' mentor, and so on and so forth. So most of these guys that are personal development specialists now, but look at this. This whole tab right here is just basically talking about, you know, this is just, you know, 11/10, another level 6 workout. Don't start 2026 making this mistake. You know, just different videos here. Can success be part-time? And I'm going to guess that Jim Rohn talks about success isn't part-time, it's full-time. So when he talks about it over on this original tab, I agree with this 1000%. Some of you who are struggling at trading, and you guys can change the word trading to whatever you're struggling at. Some of you who are struggling at, you know, getting out of debt. Some of you that are struggling at, you know, creating extra income to invest. Some of you that are struggling at getting healthy and exercising consistently. Some of you that are having trouble in your marriage. Some of you, and I'm some of you. Some of you who are struggling would benefit more from a consistent workout while listening to Jim Rohn. I believe that's true. I believe every single one of us that are watching this video today, if we could pick out one thing to do that would have the biggest impact on our life, working out consistently and listening to Jim Rohn while we're doing it would probably be the number one habit that we could create in 2026 that would overflow and have the biggest impact on the rest of our life. It's kind of crazy, guys, in life, how something that's totally unrelated to the actual goal. Like if your goal is to become a millionaire, it's kind of interesting that exercising on a consistent basis and listening to Jim Rohn would be the number one thing that you could do to make money, even though exercising and listening to Jim Rohn has absolutely nothing to do strategically with making money. Anyways, get off my soapbox, but it's so important, guys. If you're not listening to some Jim Rohn, some Ed Milet, some Myron Golden, or whoever your person is on a consistent basis, if you're not exercising and getting your body moving and getting your blood flowing and getting healthier, you're really missing the most important thing that you could be doing towards creating some financial freedom in your lives, guys. So let's go back here to the page. And let's go back here to CoinGecko. And let's see what we got here. So Bitcoin 92,591. My imagination, there's nobody chatting today. I haven't seen a new chat come in for about 25 minutes. Maybe I got you guys so focused on what I'm saying, there ain't no time to chat. Anyways, my advice to you today is basically going to be, I don't have any advice. I feel like this 92,000 is right in the middle, and we have no idea whether it's going to break up or it's going to break down. So I really think this is where you guys come into play. Remember, when you come on here, you should never be, whether it's me, even Sammy Price, I don't want you to go follow him blindly and just do everything that he says to do. Although with his track record, I think that would probably be a somewhat profitable strategy. But don't do as I do, do as I say. Like, I probably lean on Sammy way more than I should. A lot of times I don't understand why he's doing what he's doing. But when he says, hey, if Bitcoin gets to 92,879, I'm going to long it. And then I'm going to, and I believe my target profit is whatever, 95,672. I don't really go in and study why. I couldn't tell you why he believes that's the case, but I go trade. And if Bitcoin hits 92, whatever I just said, 697, I put in a long. And then I wait for it to get up to, 94, 95,000, move up my stop loss or whatever. But in general, you don't want to follow anyone blindly, and you want to learn. The goal is slowly to learn what Sammy knows so that you don't need Sammy. Like, literally, guys, not going to happen. But what if Sam passed away somehow unexpectedly? I mean, you just never know. Like, if your life is set up and you got this great life, you're following Sammy like white on rice, and every time he makes a trade, you make a trade, and you're making money, and things are flowing, and 6 months, a year goes by, and you're getting wealthy, and then all of a sudden he gets in a car accident, he has a heart attack, something happens to him. What happens to you? You don't want to be dependent upon Sammy Price or Brad Varnell or anybody for that matter, guys. So right now, I think really you have to look at your risk tolerance, your timing, where you need your money to be, when you need it to be there by. You got to decide whether you think we're starting to head back into bullish territory, or if you think this was a fake out and we're going to go back into a decline. And you also have to decide, what are you going to do leverage wise? I got some 3x leverage trades here. I decided that 10x was too risky in a lot of situations. So I've got some 3x, and now I've got some 8x. And even the 8x, remember guys, the 8x is 20% safer than 10x. And 20% is a decent chunk. I mean, it might not seem that much, but it can be pretty valuable. Like here on this trade here at 182.94, so we'll just call it 183. That'd basically be 18 cents. So 18 cents from 183 would take you to what, 165? So our liquidation would be at 165 if we were at 10% leverage. With 8% leverage, we're all the way down at 161.74. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that extra 3 cents there could very well save the trade. It also, when I make the next ladder, takes it down, another 20%. So by the time we've done a couple ladders, we're significantly lower on our liquidation price at 8x leverage than we are at 10. But as you can see, there is some money to be made here. I mean, we've got a $30 trade that's up $47 in profit, and a $30 trade that's up $60 in profit. So even at 8x leverage, we had the ability to make some pretty nice little returns. You know, I mentioned it earlier right here. Now we're at $20 on this link trade. We had $100 in this trade with 3x leverage, and now we got a $20 profit. Imagine if that was a $1,000 trade. All of us probably that have money laying around, I know that just about everybody watching the show today probably has $1,000 if they really believed in what they were doing. So if we would have put $1,000 into this trade, even with 3x leverage, that's a $200 profit. That 20% is a couple $100. You leaving again?
Yep.
You know, we're going to have to do something about this job of yours one of these days. That way you can stick around and spend more time with me.
There you go.
We need to learn how to golf.
Yeah?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I know. That's why I buy you the putter.
Yeah, I know, but that's something that we got to make a priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love you, son.
Love you.
Have a wonderful day, buddy.
You too.
Yeah, my son bought me this incredible putter for Christmas. Let's see if I can grab it here without killing myself. This is one of my Christmas presents from my son, because he knows that it's been a goal of mine to start learning how to play golf. So he bought me a very nice, expensive putter. He was thinking about getting me a driver, but decided to go with a putter because we don't really have a great place to drive close by. But I can set up and be practicing my short game with my brand new putter anytime I want. So he's only 19. Neither one of us have ever golfed. I want to get him on the golf course because, folks, one of the reasons I want to learn how to play golf, I don't know how I got on this subject so quickly, but I want to learn how to play golf because I love the idea of competing against other people. Golf is something that you can do up into a pretty late age. Golf is something where with a handicap, I can go play I could go play Tiger Woods. And technically, if we got the handicap right, like he'd probably have to give me 40 strokes, 50 strokes. I'm talking about after I get good. Let's say that I get to where I can play whatever, get to where I can average 100 on an 18 hole golf course. And Tiger Woods is averaging 67. He'd give me 33 strokes and we got ourselves a ball game. And so I like that idea. But one of the biggest reasons that I want to get good and start playing more golf is because that's where the wealthy people are. And I was talking about this with my son yesterday. Your net worth is your net worth. My son just got a job on New Year's Eve making $87.50 an hour at 19 years old. He made $700 in one work shift. How did that happen? Well, it happened because he volunteered at our church and he learned a valuable skill. He learned lighting. So he's literally going into casinos now. And when these bands are playing, they got their weekend bands that come in at the Las Vegas casinos and play like in a lounge area. They got lights all over the place. Well, my son is now an expert at the lighting. Long story short, though, somebody from the church knew somebody who knew somebody that asked, hey, do you guys know anybody that can do this lighting? And the next thing you know, this guy is getting in touch with my son. Now he's got an opportunity. Somebody just gave him a lady's information that works for UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And he literally has the potential. He might be working for the UFC doing lighting, all because of who he knew, not just going out onto the internet and applying for random jobs. It was all about who he knew. And guys, so, I want to learn how to play golf so that I can network with people that are multi-millionaires. That's how you ever heard the saying, you hang around 5 multi-millionaires, you're going to be the 6th. The other caveat to that, guys, is if you hang around 5 broke people, you're going to be the 6th. And I see it all the time. I see it in Texit Coin. You would be amazed at how many people tell me, I don't know, all of the people I know are broke. None of them got $1,000. If literally, guys, if I had $1 for every time I heard that in the last 4 or 5 months, I would have a significant number of money. I'd have a few $100. I hear it all the time. And guys, I don't want to step on too many toes, but if you don't know anybody in life that has more than that don't have $1,000, you need to make some new friends. I'm not telling you that you got to get rid of your old friends. That's okay. Love them. Spend a little bit time with them, but I would recommend spend a little bit less time with them and go figure out a way to get around some people that got more money than you, because it just is what it is. If you go start hanging around with people that have significantly more wealth than you, I guarantee you your wealth is going to go up. And if you continue to hang around a bunch of broke people are broke for a reason, guys. Once again, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but broke people are broke because of the 6 inches in between my fingers here. They might not realize it. They might always have a good excuse, a good reason, somebody else to blame. But the fact of the matter is, if you're broke, it's your fault. 99% of the time. There might be a 1% or something that happened that was totally out of your control. But you say, Brad, I mean, I got divorced and it cost me half of everything. And now I've got child support and this and that. I love you. Once again, I hope I don't offend you, but if I do, it's okay. You can you can leave the channel, you can unsubscribe. I'll be all right. You'll be all right. But guys, if you got divorced, it was your fault to a certain extent. I mean, maybe it wasn't all your fault, but like there's two people in a relationship. When it splits up, it's not 100% of the other person's fault. So most things in life that you blame on everybody else, you had a part of. And my point is, broke people don't think like rich people. If you think like a rich person, you're going to be a rich person. I mean, maybe not immediately, but if you're thinking and acting like a rich person for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, you're going to end up being rich. So if you've been trying to get wealthy for 5 or 10 years and you ain't, you got to take a step back and retrain your brain, because I'm telling you, if you've been working at getting wealthy for 5 or 10 years and it hasn't happened yet, there's probably some stuff going on up here that's holding you back that you don't even realize. So, I mean, once again, it is what it is. I still have some good friends. I still hang around some people that don't have lots of money, but the majority of the people that I try to spend the most time with are doing better than me in life. And that, they say that, a high tide raises all ships. Well, that would be one of the biggest things you could do in 2026. I like that saying. If you can't change your friends, change your friends. So go find yourself a few people that are making more money than you and get around them. And you will start to hear, if you hang around your broke friends and then you go hang around, you go out to dinner and have a couple of drinks with your broke friends, and then you go out to dinner and you have a couple of drinks with your rich friends, and you make a conscious effort to be aware of the conversations that happen, you'll understand in 30 minutes why this is so important. Because you're going to go hang around your broke friends, and all of the talk is going to be about, who's going to win the Super Bowl and how they hate their job and they can't believe the price of hamburger at the store and the gas price at the gas pump and blah, 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 blah. What you're not going to hear when you're talking with your broke friends is, man, I'm excited about this investment that I just made. It might possibly 5 or 10x my net worth over the next 6 months. I'm excited about this new plan that I have to get out of debt and be, totally debt free in the next year and blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not going to hear, I'm excited about a house. Like, my wife and I are looking at maybe moving to Florida. So we started looking at houses. We found a house for about $800,000 in Florida that we love. And we're thinking about, we're figuring out, okay, what do we got to do to be able to qualify? What do we got to do to be able to get this house? and so on and so forth. It's two totally different conversation, guys. And once again, if you don't believe me, just go try it. Go find some wealthy people and hang around them for a little while, and then go hang out with your broke friends. Pay attention to the two different types of conversations that end up happening, and you'll understand very quickly why you can't afford to hang around broke people. And even if you are one of them, I promise you, there's plenty of ways. Even if you're stone cold broke, can't rub two nickels together, there's plenty of ways to get around people that are doing better than you, that are free. There's networking events and stuff all over the place. I forget the name of there's a networking site. I can't even think of the name of it, but there's a group, okay, if you want to go network with, chefs, you go into this group and you type in, meetup. There we go. Meetup.com. I think it is. Go to meetup.com and go visit some real estate investing meetups. Go, find crypto meetups in your neck of the woods. Find a meetup where there's some affluent people that are doing well in life. And guess what? At these meetups, part of the reason that they're there is they want to give back. They want to help other people. So where there's a will, there is a way, and you can start for free. The other way that you can spend more time with wealthy people for free is, once again, go listen to Myron Golden. I was listening to him all the way to get my coffee, all the way home today. One of the things I love about my Dutch Bros is it gives me 30 minutes with Myron Golden. I listened to him all the way there, all the way back. Incredible stuff. Ed Milet, Brad Lee, Andy Elliott, Tony Robbins, and 1,000 more that I had never even heard of that you probably like. Go listen to those guys. You understand, when you're listening to Myron Golden for free on YouTube, in your car, at the gym, you're spending time with him. It's not that much different than if you were sitting there across the table from him and he was giving you advice. It's a little different because you can't ask questions, but I'm telling you, when you're broke and you need to get around wealthy mindsets, one of the easiest ways you can do it is by listening to the right people. So I'm not quite sure. That's amazing God at work. I'm not 100% sure what that was in reference to. I've been saying a whole lot of different stuff, Dave, but I appreciate the comment, and I agree that God is definitely at work in all of our lives. If you're watching this today, man, God is at work in your life too. And I'm so proud of the community that we have here and the high quality people that we have that are a part of this community. Like, I've gotten to know a lot of you very well. I would say that Eric and Vanish and Dave, the three of us have had we have some things in common. Oh, my son's job with the lighting. Yeah, absolutely. And I do believe that that's God at work. And I also believe, my son earned it by volunteering. He learned that skill by volunteering at the church in the lighting department. And he worked for free at the church for 4 years. He volunteered 3 or 4 years to get that skill, which is a whole nother topic. But guys, so often we want to know how much we're going to get paid right now. Do you realize another thing that you could do that would benefit your life tremendously would be to go work for one of your mentors? And if you could, if you had to, do it for free. Like right now, if Ed Milet or Myron Golden told me, hey, I've got an internship that I want you to come, and you're literally going to be by my side all day, every day, but you got to do it for free, I would jump on it. And that's the other nice thing about passive income, guys. I'd go work 8 hours a day side by side with Myron Golden, and then I could still work my Texit Coin business. I could do my trusted smart nodes. I could still have time for this YouTube channel. I could make a living, and I could internship. And if I had an opportunity where I could go literally be next to these men for several hours a day and I could do it for free, I would. Unfortunately, what most broke people would say is, hey, I'll come work for you, but how much am I going to get paid an hour? They don't understand that even if, like the 15 or 20 an hour that the job is worth is probably like, that's definitely not worth turning it down for. Like if you had some kind of an entry level job that was going to pay you 15, 20 bucks an hour, but Myron Golden wanted you to do it for free, you should do it for free. And I'm here to tell you that even if you were turning down a $50 or $100 an hour job, being able to spend hours and hours and hours, days, weeks, months, years in close proximity to a guy like Myron Golden and learn the ins and outs of his businesses and everything that he does just by being near him and paying attention to what he says and how he says it, and when he's talking to people, like if you had the opportunity to listen in on his sales calls and on how he talks to his employees, there's almost no amount of money that he could give you that that would be worth you saying, no, I'm not gonna do it for free. So with that, who can you go get close to by volunteering to work in their organization? Once again, it's all about how can you get around some of these people? If you truly, truly, truly desire an extraordinary life, what do you got to do? Well, I'm here. I'm coming up with ideas myself. Like I'm thinking, hey, maybe I should email Myron Golden. He lives in Tampa, Florida. Tampa, Florida is kind of the area that we're looking at. So I thought, well, maybe that is God working. That I've been talking about wanting to be coached by Myron Golden for a long time. Well, he's got a studio. He's got a studio in Tampa where when he does his recordings on Monday mornings, it's live in front of a studio audience. And I'm pretty sure that they can come for free, that he invites people to come and be a part of that studio audience for free so that he's got the people there to record. Guess what? You probably get a minute or two before or after to shake hands and get to know him a little bit. So one of the things I'm excited about if I move to Tampa is I'm going to be at Myron Golden's show taping every Monday morning, because that's one of the ways that I can get into proximity with him and get to know him. Another reason I want to learn how to golf is, guess what? Myron Golden really enjoys golfing. So I'd like to learn how to golf so that if he did ever say, hey, Brad, man, I really appreciate you doing this, 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 and this. How about we go golfing next Tuesday? I don't got to tell him, hey, that's a great idea, but I can't. I don't know how to golf. I want to know how to golf. Ed Milet. They love to golf. His son is working at becoming a professional golfer. Over the holidays, he showed several videos of him and his son out playing golf together, enjoying life together. I ever get an opportunity and Ed Milet says, hey, Brad, you want to go golf? I don't want to have to say no. But once again, like the golf thing is all about money for me. Like I'm going to enjoy golfing. I'm going to love playing golf. But the main reason I want to do it is because I believe that it's going to bless me financially while I'm doing something that I love. Another guy that I really like, Ryan Pineda, he's like, man, I love to play golf so much. But the trouble is when I'm playing golf, it takes away from my ability to provide for my family. What do you love to do that's taking away from your ability to provide for your family? That's an incredible question to ask you. I'm going to go full screen here. I want you guys to all hear me. Right now, if you have the ability to write something down on paper, I want you to write this down. What do you love to do that takes away from your family? Because it takes either while you're doing it, you can't make any money, or it costs money. Like golf isn't a cheap thing to do. You got the clubs, you got the green fees. In some cases, you either have to have a membership at the country club or you got to be with somebody that does. So golf's not necessarily a cheap sport, but what is it that you love to do that takes away from your ability to spend time with your family or to provide for your family? And the reason I think that's important is because guess what Ryan did? Ryan Pineda created the M19 Golf Mastermind Club. And it started off at $5,000. And for your $5,000, you got the ability to play a round of golf with Ryan Pineda in Vegas. And then you also are going to get invited on 4 mastermind trips a year. Now, you have to pay for your trip. You have to pay for your trip. You got to pay the airfare and the hotel and stuff. But while you're on this incredible mastermind, they just did one in Cabo San Lucas. While you're on this incredible mastermind playing golf, you're playing golf with 19 or 20 other millionaires, other high-level people. But my main point, going back to Ryan, at $5,000 a pop, he had 30, 40, 50 people sign up immediately, and then he raised the price to 10,000, and he's had, I think he's up to 100 or 200 members. Well, do the math. What is 100 times 10 grand? I think that's $1 million, right? So Ryan Pineda just figured out he wants to play golf. He don't like sitting inside the office. But if he wasn't at the office and he's just out playing golf, then his business hurts and suffers, which means that he can't provide for his family the way that he wanted to. So what did he do? He loves to play golf, so he figured out a way to make $1 million playing golf this year. On top of that, he gets to hang around 20, 30, 50, 100, 200 people that had enough money to give him 10 grand and to pay for their trips 4 times a year. So guess what? I guarantee you that at these masterminds, as valuable as he is to them, they're probably even more valuable to him because he's just one guy. But he's now going to have 20, 30, 50, 100 people coming to him with ideas. And I mean, yeah, there's some work to that, but do you understand? Like that's the difference between rich people and poor people, guys. When you're at Chili's having a couple of drinks, watching a football game at Chili's, eating some nachos and cheese, you're not talking about, hey, how can I turn what I love to do into a business that pays me so that I'm making money doing it? It's one of the most ingenious ideas ever. So lots of high successful people love to play golf. Guess what? You're going to start seeing more and more of them create golf masterminds because, we've all heard the saying, if you get paid to do what you love, then you're not ever working a day in your life. How many of I'm not even a good golfer yet. I've never even swung a golf club, but if you told me I could make, several $100,000 a year playing golf, I'd do it. So guess what's coming? The Crypto Golf Mastermind group is probably coming down the pipeline at some point in time, a month, 6 months, a year, 2 years. I don't know. I got to get good enough at golf to where I can at least, compete. But literally the whole reason for having the golf mastermind is to obviously to get paid. There's going to be people out there that hopefully want to spend time with me bad enough and have the funds to, pay $5 grand or 10 grand to be a part of a golf mastermind. But then we're all going to get together on these amazing trips and we're all going to share money making ideas and different, businesses and stuff like that, different investments. But I like that idea. I ain't even a golfer, but what is it for you? Maybe you love to water ski. Guys, figure out a way to get people to pay you to come water ski, which we got to get out of here. We've been on here for an hour, but that leads me to my last point. Like, I know this is the Tuesday Trader live stream, but guys, we got to start thinking bigger. If you think to yourself, well, hey, I love to water ski, or I love, working on cars. I love going to car shows. I love this, I love that. But you're like, well, nobody's going to pay me to do that. That's your mind, man. You're small thinking. Nobody's going to respect me enough or want to spend enough time with me to do that. You got to quit thinking like that. Because, guys, even if you aren't the famous one, even if you don't have a huge following, guess what? If you can find a couple of people that are millionaires that really enjoy car shows and you can do something to create a unique experience, you say, hey, we're going to have the car show mastermind And for $5,000 a year, you're going to get to mastermind with a lot of other people that love car shows, people that own cars, that have lots of money so that they can own these exotic cars. So you're going to be getting to hang around multiple millionaires at these car shows. I'm going to organize them all. I'm going to pick some exotic places across the country that are, tropical. We're going to go to Florida one trip. We're going to go to Hawaii on a trip. Seriously, sky's the limit. Do you think that you could find 10, 15, 20 people that love going to car shows and that love the idea of hanging around other car show enthusiasts that have money? Because in order for somebody to pay you $5,000 or $10,000 a year to be in this group and have the money to travel, they're going to be doing well in life. You're not going to get any broke people signing up for your car club. And once again, guys, it's not about the car club. You insert whatever it is for you. But even if you're broke and you're penniless, you're not the guy that they want to hang around, the fact that you are facilitating it and you get some high-level people attracted to it, all of a sudden, they don't care that you're not the guy. You can put this together and get a few guys together, and then you can start saying, hey, we've got Joe Smith, we got whatever, these three guys that have 40, 50 cars in their collection that are multi-millionaires. And if you become a part of this, car club, you're going to get to hang around with these guys 2, 3, 4 times a year. You're going to get to go on these amazing trips to Florida and Hawaii and yada, yada, yada. Hopefully, I am broadening your horizon and your mindset. You could do this with anything. You think that there's some rich people that like to work on cars? So I don't know if any of you guys really enjoy working on a car. But let's say that you've got a 1967 Mustang and you're restoring it. You could literally create a club around that and get some high-level Camaro, collectors to want to be a part of that restoration. And then you set it up to where you go to different cool places. Maybe you find somebody in Florida that's restoring a car and you guys all go there for 4 or 5 days for one trip. Once again, I'm not here to solve all of the hows. My goal in life here today is to get you thinking about what could you do that you love? How could you turn it into $100,000 or $200,000, $1 million a year business? And you can do it once again with anything. You could, people that love to cook, people that love to whatever. There's a pickleball. I'm just coming up with crazy ideas off the top of my head. I know that right now a lot of people love to play pickleball. How cool would it be to have a pickleball club and you have a bunch of people that are millionaires playing pickleball together and giving business ideas and stuff? And once again, you don't got to be the millionaire. You just got to find a few. How hard would it be if you play pickleball a lot and you play pickleball with multiple different people? If even one of them is a millionaire, they know some millionaires, and you go to that person and say, hey, man, we're going to be doing something awesome. I want you to be one of the founding members of my exotic pickleball club. And it's going to be $10,000 a year, and we're going to make about 4 trips a year to these exotic locations. We're also going to have a weekly pickleball game right here in our normal club, and it's normally going to be $10,000. But I want you to be one of the founding members. So for you, it's only going to be $1,000 or $5,000, whatever. But literally, you could get 3, 4, 5 people that are millionaires to pay you $1,000 because they're like, man, that sounds amazing. We're going to get together once a week for those of us that are local. We already love playing pickleball. We're going to get together and play pickleball anyways. Why not create a mastermind out of it where we're learning some business ideas and some investments and so on and so forth. So the next thing you know, you let these millionaires come into your pickleball club for almost nothing, because you don't care about Joe Smith being, a millionaire. You care about the people that he knows. So Joe Smith comes in as a founding member for free or for $1,000. And then guess what? Joe Smith is going to go tell his multi-millionaire pickleball playing friends that they can get into this group as founding members right now for $1,000, $5,000, whatever. And you raise the price over the first couple of months. And by my month 3, after you got 10, 20 people in your club that are millionaires, now you can charge $10,000 a pop, because people don't care that you're not a millionaire. They don't even know that you don't have any money. They don't know you're broke. All they know is that you got 15, 20 millionaires getting together playing pickleball, and that you're going to be going to these exotic locations. You could play pickleball almost anywhere in the world. One of the exotic trips could be Thailand. I don't know. My point is, quit thinking like a broke person. Start thinking like somebody that's going to be rich and have the time of your life doing it. Guys, I got myself pumped up and excited because I just opened up a whole new way of thinking, even to myself. But the importance here, guys, oh man, I can't even express it. I'm getting emotional. The importance of that is, guess what? All of that came to me because of my association with Ryan Pineda and with Myron Golden and with Ed Milet and with, I can name a dozen people. If one of you goes out and becomes a millionaire because you start a pickleball club or a golf club or a car fixing club, make sure that you give me a little bit of credit. That's all I want. Just give me a shout out and say, man, Brad Varnell talked about some crazy stuff on Tuesday, January 6th. And then I create the Knitting Club. I don't care. Seriously, if you're a woman watching this, find yourself some other ladies that are doing well in life, that are making some big money, but they love to knit, and create an exotic knitting club. And you guys travel to these exotic destinations 3 or 4 times a year, and you get together once a week and do some knitting here at home, but you mastermind and you do some business ideas and some investment stuff while you're sitting there knitting. Guys, the world is your oyster. You just got to start thinking differently. You've been programmed since the day you were born to go to school, get a good education, and get a good job. You've been brainwashed into that. That is not the only way to survive and thrive in this life. But that's what the elite want you to believe. You've been indoctrinated your whole life into thinking that you needed to get a good education so that you could get a good job. That ain't where it's at. We don't believe in that here at the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. A job is an okay place to start. It's a horrible place to finish, especially if you can become a millionaire playing pickleball. So with that, I hope you guys got some value out of today. I apologize that there wasn't more value on what trades to make. But I honestly believe that what we talked about today for the last 15, 20 minutes was infinitely more valuable than anything we could talk about when it comes to trading crypto back and forth a little bit. So I love you all. Have a fantastic week, and look forward to seeing you next Monday. In the meantime, man, go chase your dreams. Let's make 2026 the best year ever. God bless you guys. Bye-bye for now.